off with is Ohio State, Washington at Washington. Now, I think this game is very, very tricky. I think a lot of casuals are going to be hammering this Ohio State -7.5, -8.5, whatever it's at right now. And I don't think that's the way to go at all. We saw this is the shortest spread of a number one ranked team against an unranked opponent. And I believe Washington, why they're not even in the conversation of being ranked, is just because the AP poll doesn't stay up for these late games. This Washington offense is absolutely prolific. When you look at through dual threat quarterbacks, Demon Williams is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country. When we look at Demon Williams, he does have the second best QBR right now in the country. I get they haven't really played much talent, but I love this Washington offense. And again, very similar situation is I don't know if Ohio State's going to want to get in a shootout with Julian Sayin. I think it's going to be very similar to the Texas game where they play conservative. They give Julian Sayin very easy throws. Again, Julian Sayin is a guy with like an 80% completion percentage nearly right now. But like I said, I am not buying into that because in the Ohio State-Texas game, we saw him pretty rough. Then he plays a couple of cupcakes, and his completion percentage goes all the way up. So I'm not completely buying into that yet. When we look at Washington at home, they have one of the best players in the entire country in Jonah Coleman. A guy with 9 touchdowns, 347 yards in 3 games. Absolutely sensational. They have one of the best outside weapons in the country in Denzel Boston. Has 3 touchdowns, 249 yards in 3 games. Like, this Washington game is very, very tricky. I would not overlook Washington. I would not just click the button for -7.5 for Ohio State. I don't think it's going to be that way. I think this Washington team could really score with anybody, including Ohio State. I think they're going to be able to put up points. Now, again, we saw Arch Manning get tricked by Matt Patricia, but I think it's going to be a very different offense for Matt Patricia to go against in this Washington team. When you look at Jonah Coleman being one of the best running backs in the country, when you look at Demon Williams being a true dual threat quarterback, I think it's going to be a lot of RPO game, and I don't think it's going to be as much Demon Williams getting tricked by Matt Patricia because I think they're going to rely heavy on this run game. I think it's going to be a complete different matchup. I wouldn't go by that game. If you want to go by that game, I would go by it in the sense of I think Ohio State's offense is going to be very conservative. Between an explosive run game with Washington and an Ohio State offense, I think is going to be pretty conservative. Like, do I think Ohio State is going to win this game? Yes. I do think they're going to win it outright. But I think this game is going to be very close, and I would lean to Washington plus 8.5. Like, this Washington team is super sneaky, and not only that, you're giving Julian Sayin's first road test, and this Washington environment is not no environment to sneeze at. It's a pretty good college football environment. Like, I think this Washington team has a ton of talent. I like their coaching staff. I like their offense. Again, do I think they have the defense of Ohio State? No, I think that's going to be the difference, getting a big stop at the end of the game. But Julian Sayin's first road test, this Washington offense that has a ton of talent that's going to be able to put up points. I do think they cover the 8.5. I don't think they win outright. But again, I want to see Julian Sayin, if he could bring this 70, 80% completion percentage into this game. That's what I really want to see. But I think this Ohio State offense is going to be conservative, and I think this Washington team could score points for anybody. Like I said, Jonah Coleman is one of the best players in the entire country. Demon Williams has the second best QBR in the country right now. Like, this is going to be a tough game. This is not a game that I would overlook. I'm super excited to see how that game plays out for sure.